Hi everyone, welcome back to another stream. If you're watching right now, go ahead and say hi in the chat. Today I'll be working on another Django application, and this is something that's been requested and that I've wanted to do for a while, and I actually haven't done it before. So I almost always use Postgres with Django. Actually, I've pretty much always used it, except some test apps with SQLite and stuff. And even, whether I make a REST API or a GraphQL API or anything, I'm always using, Postgres as the database. But this time I want to use MongoDB. So I've done a little research in preparation to figure out what are the best tools to use MongoDB, or to be able to interface MongoDB with a Django application. And so I've included these in this wiki repo that I've been building for different ways of setting up Django applications. So I'm going to go down. If you look in the table of contents, I added this Django Mongo section. So I'm going to go here, and I looked at the Django library. It seems to be the by far the most robust option, and also what most people use. So I'm going to go with the Django MongoDB library to build this Django application. Now it will be a Django REST framework application, and it will hook up into MongoDB for the database using this tool. That's such a stark contrast, going from dark theme pages to light theme pages. Anyway, so I'm going to get started there. I have not started my Django application yet, so I'm going to go ahead and start that. And I'm going to be going through a general setup for all Django projects, but I'm going to skip a couple things to make this faster. So I'm going to skip the part where, I always make a custom user. But in this case, I just realized I have a typo here. But in this case, I'm not going to make a custom user because I just won't have users. Now, let me stay up here. So what am I going to be building? So if you joined my streams before, you might remember I have this spaced repetition application. I have a Vue.js front end, but I have a Django backend. So that is with Django REST framework, and this one is with Django GraphQL. And now I am going to be making one with MongoDB this time. So let me get started. First of all, I use Poetry as my package manager, so I'll be using that. Postgres, I'm going to ignore that for now. And I need to start a Django project. So yeah, I guess now that I'm trying out Mongo, I need to get rid of Postgres, as I need a better structure for this README. So if anyone has any ideas, let me know. Okay, so I'm going to start a Django project first by doing, let's see, Django admin start project. And then what should I name this project? I guess I'll call it, what did I call my repo? Django Mongo SRL. Yeah, I guess that's fine. SRL stands for Spaced Repetition Learning. So I'll do Django Mongo SRL. And then that created that directory. So let me cd into that. And now let me open that in VS Code. By the way, I have, in the background here, you can see I have MongoDB Compass open, because I'll be using that just as a client to look at my MongoDB, my collections and stuff. Okay, so I have my main folder. I have the manage.py file. Now I am going to change this because as you may know already, it's kind of weird to have Django Mongo SRL as the parent folder and then also as the main folder for configuration. So I'm just going to change that and call it what it is. I'll call it a config.settings. So I think that's good. And then I need to also change in some of these files here. It will throw an error anyway if I try to run my application without changing the name now that I haven't changed the folder name yet. So let me change that. So call the folder config. And now in settings, I can see where it is. Here we go. I want to change it here. And then I want to change it here. And there's one place I don't want to change it, which is in the instructions up here. So that's fine. Okay. And WSGI, even though I won't be using this, I still need to change this reference or it's going to complain about it. Okay. Everything else is good. Now I'm also going to make an apps folder here to put all of my Django apps inside of my Django project, just to organize them a little bit better. So I have an apps folder and I should be good to go. So my the steps are going to be a little bit different. By the way, I already have MongoDB running on my computer. So it's already running on the standard port 27017, so I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, make sure Mongo's running. And then I already started my project. Oh yes, I do need a virtual environment. This is why I have a checklist, so I don't forget. So let me create a virtual environment for the project. This is just built into Python now. It's been out for a while, so you probably know, but Python-m venv. And then I'm going to call the virtual environment venv as well. Okay, so that should be creating my virtual environment. And then, of course, I go into my virtual environment first thing before I accidentally do anything outside of it. Okay, now I'm inside my virtual environment. And I need to start poetry. So this will, well, you'll see in a second. So this is, if you've used JavaScript, this is kind of like npm init, except it creates a Python specific file where I add my dependencies. And so this walks me through the steps here. What do I want to call it? Version number, description, author is fine, license, MIT, compatible Python versions. Yeah, 1.6 or greater is fine. Would you like to define your main dependencies interactively? No, I could type in Django and all that stuff here, but I would rather install them myself. Okay, good. So here is my poetry file. You can see I'm blocking it a little bit here. I can move myself over here. There we go. So yeah, so there's my poetry file on the screen here, and you can see in the code. Okay, and you can see in the code here, oh, there's my virtual environment. That it should have, oh, I haven't confirmed it yet, that's why. So let me confirm this. Confirm generation, yes. So now it's there. Okay, so now I have this pyproject.toml file, and it doesn't have any dependencies or dev dependencies. I guess the only one is Python itself right now. So I need to add some dependencies first, and so I need to install. So I need to do poetry add, yes. That is the command. So I need to do poetry add. And then I guess the first one is Django REST framework. And I don't need that second library there because that is for Postgres. But I'm going to install Django REST framework with poetry. And while that is installing, I know I need to install this library Django for MongoDB. So it's saying to use pip, but instead I'm using Poetry, and I will just install it the same way once Django REST Framework has finishes anyway. So it's kind of a quiet night. How are you guys doing? All right, I've been so busy for work, that's why I haven't been able to stream quite at regular times, but I'm just trying to mostly just stream as often as I can, because anyway, the streams are up on Twitch for 2 months, and I also edit them down a little bit and upload them to YouTube. Okay, so Poetry, add Django. Okay, so those two very important things are being installed. And let me go through my steps. By the way, if you're joining me and you want to know what steps I'm going through, I made this wiki, which I'm still trying to make better and better. But these are basically the steps that I take to set up Django projects. Okay, so I already did this. Oh, I do need this init.py file. Might as well go ahead and add that because I created this directory. So it needs to have an init.py file in it if I want to traverse my directories as packages. So let me add that init.py. Of course, that's an empty file that I just leave there. Okay, so you can see that the two dependencies I installed were added here. So I'm liking Poetry. I've been using it for a little while now, but it definitely has a lot of extra features switching over from pip to Poetry. No more pip freezing, and I also have this poetry.lock file for my dependencies and peer dependencies and things like that. Okay, so I have my main dependencies installed here. Okay, so let me go ahead and set up the application. So as I mentioned, I'm not going to create users for this app at all because I'm just doing a quick setup for MongoDB mostly. Okay, so I do need to set up the database, but I can't follow these instructions because this is just for Postgres. So I'm going to, let's see, here's the getting started for Django. That's the documentation. So this is the library that I'm using to interface with Mongo. And in my settings, my main settings file, basically I just need to define the database engine, which is Django, and then name, which is the name of my database, and that's it. So let me just copy this part actually. And in my settings.py, I already have the database section here. And I can just paste this in. Okay. So I have Django. My database name will be, let's see, spaced learning, because it's a spaced repetition learning backend. Okay, so I think that should work. That's really the only setup step that it has in this documentation. Requirements, if your models are nested queries or subqueries, that values name. Okay, so it's basically showing how to use the regular Django ORM now for MongoDB. I'm pretty sure I have MongoDB 3.6 or higher. Hopefully I do. Otherwise I might have to update it. Okay, so let me try running this application. I'm in my virtual environment. I've installed my packages. Okay, so it should run. Let me try Python. And also with Postgres, you have to create the database first, but with Mongo, it creates it for you if it doesn't already exist. So I'm guessing it should just work right now. Let's see. run server. Okay, so improperly configured Django isn't an available backend. All right, so it says MySQL, Oracle, Postgres, or SQLite. No module named data classes. Okay, so that's with the same error. Let's see. The above exception was the direct cause of the following exception, which is, okay, connections, default database. It's kind of hard to read. Utils, load backend, improperly configured. Okay, so I'm going to see if this, oops, let me just highlight it and it copies. So improperly configured Django isn't available database on the backend. I'm guessing other people have had this same issue. So let's see, support. Okay, yeah, let me go to the GitHub and see if I can quickly find an issue. Not working for Django version greater than 3. Oh, not compatible with Django 3.0. Well, this is an old issue that's over a year old. Django isn't available database backend. This is like almost 2.5 years old. Okay. So get this. I'm gonna see if they have, in case you didn't know. Okay, so they're saying I might have to install bson, which is, okay, using Django 2.2.10 and uninstall bson and remove the directory. Okay, but that doesn't really fix it. Doesn't really fix not working with Django 3. I searched through this repo and it seemed like is there any support for Django 3.1? So maybe if I downgrade to Django just 3.0, it will work. Less than or equal to 3.0.5. Oh, let me just go back in the browser and see. I'm guessing nobody has any idea about this. MongoDB isn't that popular with Django. Or I guess, not that it's not that popular, but it's not that commonly used, I think. Okay, Django isn't an available database backend. This is from 2.5 years ago, so 48 comments. Wow. You haven't installed Django. What? Okay. Both commands don't work for me. I solved the problem by removing virtual environment and reinstalling all of the packages again. Okay. But this guy's randomly talking about MySQL. Activate virtual environment, source, vn bin activate, deactivate. Simply deactivate your application and artifacts by recursively removing it. Okay. Yeah, people just saying to install Django. It's already installed. Okay, doesn't make any sense. Okay, I do need to install, I guess in my TOML file I don't even have Django here, so I do want to put the Django version here. So let me try to install poetry add Django. Let's see. Okay, cool. Solve problem error. This is what's another nice thing about poetry, because Django 1.3.3 depends on Django between 2.1 and 3.0.5. Okay, then that's what I want to install, this version. So that's the same thing the person said in the comment. So now I'm going to do poetry add Django equals 3.0.5. And did it work? Yes. Okay, cool. So it installed that correct version. So, oops. So let me see if it works now. Because I think, nope, still doesn't work. But it says it's compatible with 3.0.5. There must be something else going on there. Let me scroll all the way to the end. So this person has the databases. Oh, he's using SQLite, but then for analytics. I wonder if I do need the host and everything. Do I need that? He has name, engine, and then client. Let me try adding that, because I already have my MongoDB running. So let me add that here. Oh no, it would be in here, right? Okay, let's see. So I have username, password, auth source. Yeah, get rid of those. So anyway, I have the host. This is the default host, so it's probably going to do this anyway, but I'll just go ahead and add it. Performing no module named Django. Yeah, that's the same thing that I'm getting. Okay, so after lots of search, this was my last bug stop, upgrading Django 2.2.8 to Django 3.1.5, and it worked. Okay. We fixed it switching to Python 3.6.8. Okay, well, I mean, I could do that with PyEnv. I could just install another Python version. But let me try one thing at a time here. So this is always good, running into these problems, I guess, starting with Mongo, because then I'll know to put them in my README so I don't run into them again. Okay, so Django 1.1.3, what version do I have? Let me take a look. So in my Py project, yeah, I have 1.3.3, and then Django 3.1.5. So I don't think, actually Python 3.6 here, I could change this to 3.6.9. It seems like that would be, because it won't let me install 3.1.5 for Django. So it seems like the change I should make is upgrading Python. And if I look at my Python version now, Python version 3.6.5. So let me do pyenv. Let's see. Pyenv shell. I have 3.7.9. Let me try that. So now let me do. Because I'm in the virtual environment. Let me get out of here. Let me remove my virtual environment. So rmrf venv, and I'll start over. Okay, so Python shell 3. No, not. It's a pyenv. So I'm changing my version, my Python version, to 3.7.9. And now if I do Python version 3.7.9, okay. So that should work. So now I'm going to do python-m, start a new virtual environment. Oh man, so the last stream I did, I tried out ant design for the first time. That was not working with Vue 3, so I ended up having to switch. And now I'm trying to use Mongo for the first time with Django. It's interesting. Okay, so now let me get into this virtual environment. And hi C Films, how are you? Oh, I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out how to get Mongo to work with Django, which is something I've been wanting to do for a while. Environment, yes, this is the environment that I want. And whenever I use something for the first time, there's always a bunch of issues that I run into. I always hope that it goes smoothly, and it doesn't always just go smoothly. But yeah, it is a good weekend, especially because we have tomorrow off. I do relational. Yes, relational seem to be a lot easier. MySQL? I haven't done much MySQL. I usually use Postgres. It just seems to be what companies around me use, and it's also what Django recommends that you use if you use Django. Hi Ang2802, thanks for the follow. Okay, so Django, Mongo, SRL. Oh yeah, so that's what I need to do. In here it's saying Python at least version 3.6, but I'm going to change this now to 3.7.9 because I made a new virtual environment for this. So I'm going to try and see if that helped anything. Django was a movie. People keep telling me it's a really good movie, so I want to see it, but I have not seen it yet. But whenever I search Django, it comes up with that movie, Django Unchained. So I have to do like Python Django or something. Oh yeah, Python. Let me try running my app again. Oh, couldn't import Django. Oh, I haven't installed. That's right. Poetry install. Because I deleted my virtual environment where all my packages were installed. So now I have to reinstall them. So they're all installing right now. Oh, PyMongo. I guess Django relies on PyMongo. But I might have to just use PyMongo straight if I can't get Django working. You do web development and databases. Nice. Where are you from? Just curious. I'm always curious what country someone's from. Okay, Django REST framework. Django's installing. I would say the majority of my work is web development. And then I also do some teaching now at a coding school. So I guess I do work in Django and different JavaScript frameworks, and that's been really almost all of my work for the last year has been doing those things. And even before that, I was working with a lot of Python and JavaScript. I may or may not be in the place my username is short for C Films. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's just late. Hi, Javivar. How's everything going in Argentina? Okay. Wow, it is late. Okay. Let's see. Python, REST framework. Okay, so let me try running it again now that I have everything installed. Hopefully it just runs now. Oh, cfilms.com is your website. Oh, okay. I'll have to check it out. Oh, please. I think it's running. I hope it's running. Oh, I don't click on links during the stream, but I will look at it after. Why isn't it? Shouldn't it be running on a... it's not running. Okay, it says connection refused. Why would it be refused? MongoDB connection refused. So I do have Mongo running though. Let me see. Oh, thanks for the follow, C-Films. Let's see. What do I do? Okay, so I'm on a Mac. Let me clear this. I'm typing at the bottom. I'm on a Mac and I do brew services. I think it's list. Yeah. It should list everything. It's running kind of slow. Okay. I'll try to put them on one line. There we go. So I have Elasticsearch. Okay, yeah, I have Elasticsearch, Postgres, Redis. I have all those things running. No wonder my computer's running hot. Okay, and then I have MongoDB community, which is good. So my Mongo here, refresh. So this is running 5 DBs, 5 collections. This is running on port 27, or it's, yeah, on port 27017, which is where Mongo's running. So it's getting all the databases from Mongo. And, well, at least it's a different error now. It seems to be, now that I upgraded my Python version, it's working. Okay, let me try running it again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to debug what's wrong with Mongo. Credentials error? It could be, yes. If I need to have an admin user with Mongo. The thing is, like, I know how to create one in Postgres, but can't remember how to do it in Mongo. Let's see. What's this collection? Oh, that was a demo that I did before. Okay, so how do I get back to Les Miserables? Admin, config, and then, all right, I don't want that. Okay, so I need my database. I guess I could create a database here, and maybe it's just not creating the new one, which is weird. Many American children. Mac? Are you saying a lot of Americans have Macs? Well, a lot of companies I work with use Macs, so it's just, yeah, I don't know why all kinds of developers use Mac. Let's see, database name. What did I call this? Spaced learning. Sounds like a sci-fi thing. Custom collections. Invalid name. Spaced learning. Why would that be invalid? I guess I need a collection name, so I will have a cards collection, so let me add that. Okay, here I have spaced learning. I have cards. I'm going to create another collection called decks. Decks, cards will be part of decks. Okay, so I have these two now. Let me try one more time to get Mongo to work. Otherwise, I am going to try try adding a user to it and see if I need to add a user. Most companies around me use PC. Interesting. The only companies here where the developers use PCs are pretty much like Microsoft, or companies that use Microsoft, like .NET, C#, that kind of thing. Why are you using Mongo instead of Postgres? That's a good question. Just because I wanted to try Mongo with Django. Yeah, generally I use Postgres. So here's the same thing. I'm getting the connection refused error from Mongo. Let me see. These aren't really easy to read. Timeout. Yeah, so it's trying to connect. That's why it's taking so long here, because it's trying to connect. And it's not. So how are Django and Mongo related? So in the settings, and this is really the only setting they said I had to set up here, was Django and the name of the database, and that's it. So let me actually try that and see if that works. Have I tried Flask? Oh, invalid syntax. Oops. Okay. Yes, I used Flask for a long time before I started using Django. Oh, whatever, it works. Okay, so the issue was my Python version. When I upgraded my Python version, it started working, but unfortunately I had already added a line of code that I didn't know was breaking it. So yep, appears to be working now, which is good. I can go to, well, I need to run my migrations, but I'll go to localhost 8000. And this is the Django landing page. Of course, I'm going to set it up with Django REST frameworks. No, absolutely not. Most of the companies here that do use Python are using it for data science. There are a few Django companies though, and I am fortunate to work for one of them. Do I do C++? Not really. I did a long time ago. Okay. So yeah, I need to set up Mongo and also the REST API for this. So what to do first? Let me set up REST API because I need to create a couple basic endpoints, and then I'll need the Mongo models. I guess it doesn't matter what order I do this in, but I'm just going to set up some endpoints really quickly. Let's see. Add DRF. Oh yeah, I need to add some of these things to installed apps. And it's weird because I didn't have to add Django to installed apps at all, so, or I guess I didn't anyway. Okay, and I haven't made any custom apps yet either, so I'm just going to add REST framework here. And then I need to create the urls.py files and then set up my URLs. So first things first, I'm going to do Python manage.py migrate, and that will run all of the, like the admin, all of those built-in migrations for Django. Okay, run all migrations. Oh, something, this version of Django does not support null for null validity. Okay, well, it seems like everything else was okay, and there wasn't an error that stopped it. Can I refresh this? Here's space. Oh, sweet! Look at what it did. It added all of these tables. Yeah, so I guess I don't need the cards index. I forgot. Django's going to create these for me. Sweet. DRF is Django REST framework. Mostly PHP. Oh, cool. I haven't used PHP in a while, but people say it's gotten a lot better with new versions. Version 8 or whatever version it's on right now. Is it difficult to do in e-commerce? It depends on what you're doing. I'd say in general it's a more difficult app because there's a lot of different features to implement. But there's also a lot of people who've done that kind of site before, so you can learn from a lot of people who've gone there before. Okay, framework. Oh yeah, I need to include their URLs in my main URLs file. So this is for Django REST framework. Oh yeah, in config URLs, and add that. Oh yeah, I need to include. Okay, so I imported include. That's good. Now in my apps, this is the next thing. I'm going to create 2 apps. No users this time, but I'm going to create make directory. Let's see, apps/cards and apps/decks. So the apps, or the cards and decks, I need to make both of those apps. And now let me do Python manage.py start app. And then first I'll create the cards app, and I'll create it in the apps/cards folder. And then I'll do the same thing for decks. So I'll create the decks app, and then, oh, hi CM Griffin, how are you? Thanks for the raid. It's good you missed all of my terrible struggles with Mongo, using it with Python, and now I've finally got it working. So welcome everyone. How are you guys? What were you working on tonight? All right, thanks for the follow, Alex Hart. Okay, so I created my first 2 Django apps here, cards and decks, and I'm going to build off of those right now. By the way, if you want to know what I'm doing, I'm building a spaced repetition backend. I have already built 2 backends for this site, one in GraphQL, one with Postgres and the REST framework, and now I'm using the REST framework and oh yeah, Mongo. That's the theme of the stream, Mongo. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. Okay, so I've created my 2 apps. Now I need to add models and URL files to these, and I'm going to get started with cards. Oh, you were doing C. Cool. I did some C streams and I struggled really hard. It's not easy, especially if you don't work in C every day. Let's see. Cards. Oh yeah, URLs. I need a urls.py file. This will be quick. I'll just go ahead and add those. So let me get a starter from Django REST framework. Yeah, I'll just look through the docs. All right. Almost 9 p.m. where I live, but I can stay on a bit longer. Let's see. API guide. Where would it be? URLs. Views, routers. Here we go. I just need like a real basic router. DRF. I need a auto response for that question. Django REST framework. Yes, thanks, CM Griffin. Okay, so I'm going to use the simple router. There are quite a few other router options for Django REST framework, but all I need is a route here. My main goal is to get Mongo working, so I'm going to use whatever here. Okay, so let's see. Import router, simple router. So I'm going to get rid of this, and then, yeah, I guess I'll do it like this. And then the only thing I want to do here is, yeah, I'll leave this empty actually, because I'm going to point to this urls.py file from my main URLs file here. And I'm going to say, let's see, REST framework.urls. No. I want to do apps.cards.urls. I'll just go ahead and put the dex in here too. Dex, because I'm going to do that in a second. Okay, and this will be at the path, yeah, cards. So that will be at the cards path. And then, so I'm leaving this as just the default because it'll just be cards /. And then it's going to automatically create item endpoints as well. So card/ID. All right. Okay, so now I have URLs. I have no views. So let me create a view of some kind here. Let me do, yeah, cards view set. I'm just going to have one view set in here. So, okay, so now I have cards view set. Oh yeah, I have to import that. So from views in the same directory, I'm going to say import cards view set. That's fine. And now I need to create the view set here and also create a model here. Okay, so let me look up and get a basic view set too. Here's views, generic views, view sets. View sets are nice because I can just add, not that. Well, for a model view set, I can just add the serializer class and the query set, and I'm good to go. So let me add that. What was I doing? It was cards view set. Okay, serializer class, and then I need to do cards, I guess card serializer, and then I need to create the card model, but that it'll be called card, and then I need to from models import that card model. And I also need a serializer class. I'm going to put the serializer in the same file because I only have one. So let's see, class card serializer. And this will, serializers, everything seems to look like it's spelled wrong today. Okay, so, oh, I need to do serializers. Let me import serializers from Django REST framework. So from REST framework import serializers. Let me see if that works. Let me look up serializers. Coding streams are kind of heavy, right? Like it's hard to, I guess, follow along fully. Yeah. By the way, here's a wiki I've been setting up to kind of as a starter, or no, a guide to set up Django projects. I have different kind of Django projects on here. GraphQL, MongoDB, like how to set up Postgres and users and different things. So I'm building this out as I do every stream. So if you have any recommendations or things I should add to it, then definitely let me know. Okay, so wait a second. I think someone raised issues here. Fix source. Oh, cool. Awesome. I'll have to take a look at those. Oh, sorry. It's been a month. Sorry, Mikey-san. I didn't even see those. Okay, anyway. Serializers. Do you use any special package for user authentication in DRF? Yes. I use JWT library. I think it's like REST Framework JWT or something. So REST Framework does have a built-in JWT library for anyone who doesn't know. But I don't know. There were some things that was missing. I think expiration, blacklisting, all of those things, like it doesn't have that many features. So if you're going to use this in a real application or professional or whatever application that you're going to deploy, you probably want to pull in a library for that. By the way, thanks for the follow, Fervin, and Legendary Urban Hacker. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. Comment serializer. Yeah, I don't need all of that. From REST Framework import serializers. I just wonder why it wasn't auto-completing, but I guess that's fine. Then I have my serializer that I'm gonna inherit from serializer? Yeah, serializers.serializer. But I think I can do, let me see, there's model serializer, right? Yeah, and then here I can just set the fields and the model and stuff. So I'm going to do that actually. Set a meta class. So this would be model. And then this. And thanks for the follow, Time Frog. Yeah, oh yeah, thanks, Elodie. Okay, do people still use Django? Yes, lots of people, lots of companies, especially startups, still use Django. We build new Django projects all the time for clients at my company. So, well, at one company that I work for. Yeah, so it's still very widely used. So here I'm going to replace these fields. I wonder if I can just do all, like just pass back all fields. And then the model will be card. Okay, so now I need to go create that model. Oh wait, get rid of this irrelevant comment. Okay, so now in the models here, let's see, I need to create a cards model, and this will be class, oops, that wasn't good. Okay, so this will be class card. That will extend from models.model, and let's see, what fields? I mean, so a card, it's like a flashcard. So I need the question, I need an answer. I could have like created at, updated at, those kind of things, but just kind of keeping it simple here. So I think I'm just going to do question and answer for right now. Oh, all without a list. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let me try it and see. Okay, so here I'm just going to say that these are, I guess it should be a char field, right? Models dot char field. And then Do I have to set the max length here? Max length equals 1255. And then answer dot, let me put this as a text field. And then there's no max length for that. Okay, so here's a card. And now that I have a card, I have my model, I have my URL. I should also be able to register this real quick in the admin interface just to complete everything. So I can't even remember. So what is it? Admin.register or something? Let's see. Django admin.site.register. Thank you. Okay. So admin, I won't do a custom admin class. I'm just going to use the default. So admin.site.register, and then that will be card. So I need to pull that in. So from models, import card. And then there's one thing I'm missing. Hey Dex Final, how are you? One thing, oh yeah, I want to do a default here. So I'm going to set the string so that way it's not just like object. So, oh wait, def. Let me put a function here. Def string. And then I think this is how I do it. So I return, wait, here I get self, right? Self, yeah. So I'm setting this default string as, I guess, question, or self.question. Okay. Just started learning Python and Django. Cool. Welcome. Yes, Django is awesome for building applications quickly. Let's see. Return self.question. Okay, so I think this is all working. I can try running it, but let me try to make that migration first to create that table for cards. So python manage.py migrate, no, make migration. Make migrations. Nope. Oh, card, I need to put it in apps. Isn't in installed apps. Yes. Okay. So I need to install that. I've created and modified data in all my models and fields to appear in Django admin. But they are not pre-populated? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Okay, so I need to add it here. Yeah. So I'll do apps dot cards. Yeah. Right? Is that what I do? Let's see, in my apps, yeah, name cards. Okay, so I think that's good. Just cards. I'm inside of apps though. I think I have to do apps, right? Yes, I do. I have apps here. So it's inside of apps and then cards because I didn't put it in my root. The default is to put it in root, but I don't like, you know, putting a whole bunch of folders just in my root directory. Okay. Oh, you said created and modified data to my models and the fields appear in Django, but they're not pre-populated. Oh, you have to use that. Are you using auto now add or whatever it's called? Like auto add now? It's something like that. There's auto add and auto add now. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Those should work. Okay, so common apps.cards. Okay, let's see if this works now. If I do make migrations again. View sets is not defined, of course. So in views, serializers from REST. See, it keeps trying to import this JWT. My AI is not working right now. Let's see, let me go to view sets. Okay, from REST framework, import view sets. Okay, REST framework, import view sets. And let's see if this works this time. Okay, cool. Got rid of my errors, it created the card model. Yeah, that's all good. And now if I go into Mongo, let me refresh here and go to space learning and session. Where is it? It should be under cards, right? Yeah, it's the cards app, so I think it would be cards card, but I already created this. So this shouldn't be here. This is something I created out of my own ignorance. I'm going to delete it. Drop collection. Cards. Drop collection. Okay. And here too. Let me drop collection. Dex. So why didn't it create that for me? This is weird. Space learning. Oh, what am I doing? I didn't migrate. Thanks, yeah. I just made the migration, but I didn't actually migrate. Let's see. Yeah, it created the migration for me, but no migrating. Okay. Yeah, so let me actually migrate this time. Python manage.py migrate. Version of Django. It keeps giving me this warning, null, not null, column validation check fully. Okay. I guess that is something to do with using NoSQL, so I'm not too worried. Cards card, here we go. Sweet, awesome. Okay, so now I have cards card. I want to do, let's see. Ah, that feels so good to set this up. I'm glad I got it working. Okay, so now let me run the server and see if I can interact with it and add some things to the database. So Python manage.py, run server. And I wonder how it handles foreign keys. I guess it does. Actually, even with IDs and stuff, Mongo generates an ID automatically. Well, I guess so does Postgres, so it's just different kinds of IDs. Okay, so now my server's running. Let me go to, oh wait, here. My server's already here. And this should, yeah, because it's no longer the default Django page now that I have the REST framework URLs there. Thanks for the follow, Sandbox. Okay, so I have admin, cards, login, log out. Yeah, so let me go to cards and see what's going on. Okay, so I can create a new card. I should be able to make a post request here. Okay, let me try posting. Yay, it posted. And now, because I'm using the REST framework router, I can do card/1 and sweet. And then I get that card back in my GET request. And if I do just cards, I get all of the cards that I've created. Cool. And then I should be able to also see these in the admin interface, localhost 8000/admin. Oh, I didn't create a super user. Okay, let me stop this real quick. Stop my server. Oops. Clear. Clear is probably the most common command I type in the terminal. Okay, so this is Python manage.py create super user. Okay, and since I didn't update my user at all, so it's just using the default Django way with the username, which is fine. Gwen at example.com and the password. Okay, super user created successfully, so let me run this again. And sweet. So now I can log in with my username and my password. And I have cards. And I can see my card here. Cool. So I think that's all. Real quick, I am going to try to make the Dex app. Let me close all these windows first. Okay, let me try to make the Dex app real quick. And, oh yeah, I forgot. I already started the app. And I'm going to see about the foreign key relation. Actually, first I'm going to, where's the refresh here? Open in tab. Oh yeah, refresh. Cool, so yeah, I see it in here. Oh, this is weird though. It has the underscore ID, but then it has another ID that's the auto incrementing. Can you see it? Oh, cool. Yeah, it's the auto incrementing ID of 1, but then it also has the Mongo object ID that Mongo creates. I guess maybe I have to set the ID somewhere to tell Postgres not to add this ID for me. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to copy some things over from cards here just to speed things up. Like the URLs is pretty much the same, except it's going to be Dex viewset, Dex viewset. Okay, and that's fine. And then in views, I'm going to go to cards views, get all of these, and import deck. That's going to be my model here. This is going to be deck, and almost exactly the same. Serializer class, deck. Okay, so that's all done. I need to add a model, and actually I think the card is the thing that should have the foreign key to the deck. Yeah, because there will be a bunch of cards per deck, and cards cannot be associated with many decks. It will just be one deck. So okay, so models, let me copy over the admin too, why not? Okay, and then the admin here, so I'll change this to deck and then this to deck. Okay, so get rid of all of those, and now I just need to create a model for decks here, and this will be class deck. This oh yeah, extend models.model, and then I'm just going to give the deck a name real quick. So this will be a char, oh, models.charfield, that's right, models.charfield, max length equals 100, and then I will do the, you know, I need one of these on every model. Okay, that was convenient. So yeah, so I have Dex that only has a name field, and that is fine for now. And now I'm going to try in my, not here, where is it? in my models here, I'm going to have a foreign key here. So I'm going to have deck, a deck field, and this will be foreign key to the deck's model. By the way, thanks for the follow. Hacking sports? Oh, hacking esports. Welcome. Okay, so models dot foreign key, and this will be deck, and then I need to set on delete, and that will be models. So basically, when the deck is deleted, is the card deleted? Sure, why not? Cascade. Okay, that works. Oh yeah, I have to import decks then. So from apps.dex.models import deck. Okay, now I have to make migrations because this migration has to be updated, and I have to create the dex table as well. So related name cards can help in the future as well. I think I can already access this by cards because it goes both ways, right? I basically, the only time I've ever needed related name, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's like when I'm referring to the same model twice here. Like if I had deck and I don't know, special deck, and they were referring to the same model here, then I need to reference them in different ways. But I don't know, is there any other reason to use related name there? I think you need it to do. No, I can get to deck.cards. I can get from decks to cards already because I can go both ways without that, I guess. Oh, I need to add it to installed apps. Oh, and the URLs too. Okay. Add it to installed apps. Let's see, Dex. Oops. And then URLs. Oh, I just need to uncomment. Sweet. Okay, so this cannot import name Dex view set from apps.dex.views. Okay. Oh, yeah, I didn't change it. Dex view set. Okay, now my server's running, so let me try to do the migrations. Make migrations. Already provide a one-off default. Oh yeah, for that. Okay, I will provide a default. I mean, I only have one item in the database, so I could just delete it. What would be the default? Well, it's supposed to be a foreign key, so I don't know. I guess I'll do that. Okay, if I have any trouble, then I'll just delete that one item that's in the database. Okay, so I made the migrations, and now I need to migrate. Manage.py migrate. Nope. So, fault not null. Okay, I think it's throwing an error. I didn't read it all, but I think it's throwing an error because of this. I'm just going to try to delete this. And see. Nope. Okay. So first of all, apply migrations. Okay, not implemented alter for SQL, alter table, cards, card. Column ID in default, not null. Okay, so I have a migration that I made. This one's for Dex. So it's basically just adding, yeah, primary key true and all that stuff. I'll have to change that, but that's fine for now. Serialize equals false, verbose ID. Let's see, and then it adds the name, and then my migration that for card, name deck, foreign key to dex, preserve default. Oh, default one, okay. All right. So it did create the dex. I think it just had a problem with the cards one. So Python migrate cards. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Python manage.py. Manage.py migrate, and then if I just want to migrate the cards app, let me see. Nope. Okay, I'm still getting a database error from... Okay, what I'm going to do real quick, just to make this quick, I'm going to delete this since this migration hasn't been applied anyway. So I'm going to delete that, and then in my models, so for cards here, I'm going to say that, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to say, oh, come on. Null equals true. And then do I have to do blank equals true on a foreign key? Why does it keep trying to put stuff in here? Blank equals true. I think that'll fix what it's complaining about. But now I have to do that make migrations again. Null equals true, blank equals true. Cool, thank you. Manage.py. What is it? Make migrations. Okay, cool. So it created that card deck again on delete. Yeah, and I deleted the thing from the database, so I don't have to set a default this time. So I can just do migrate. Oh, cool. Oh, not cool. I thought it was going to run. Wow, it's not happy. Okay, not implemented. Alter command for SQL alter table cards card and column deck ID in null. Alter table. Why can't I run an alter table command? Cards on the table cards card. I'm trying to add the column deck ID. Is it because I can't do with null equals true? You don't need a default anyway. Yeah, that's right. Hi, Hacking Esports. Thanks for the raid. How are you? Yeah, so you can see I'm trying to debug this error right now on my project. By the way, I am doing Django, so I'm trying to set up a Django application similar to this one I've already set up, but that one uses Postgres, and the one I'm setting up now is using MongoDB. And I have it partially working, but now I'm trying to set up a foreign key relationship in Mongo, and it's not working. Thanks for the follow, everybody. Yeah, so MongoDB in not in Postgres, in Django. It's fun. Okay, so I don't know why it's setting the migration dependency as, oh, I guess I need, yeah, I do need dex because this is setting up a foreign key with dex, so I need that collection to exist. Thanks, Carlos. Thanks, everybody. All right. Django similar to Flask? No. They both use Python, but no. Flask is like a microservice framework. I mean, it doesn't have to be for microservices, but it's a micro framework. Django is like everything, batteries, everything you ever imagined. Let's see. Okay, so I have my foreign key. This should work is the thing. I think it's just Mongo, like Django, the library I'm using for Mongo. Remember that error it was giving me earlier that it says it couldn't do nulls or something? I'm wondering if that's what it's complaining about right now. So that foreign key can't be null. Yeah, I'm wondering. Let me try, since it didn't apply this yet, I'm going to try to delete this migration again and see if, let me just take these out, I guess. Ah, it's late. I was trying to do that. Oops. Okay. And now I'm going to try one more time to do make migrations. I'm gonna, well, it's only cards anyway that I have to make a migration for. Provide a one-off default. There's there's nothing in there already. No, I don't want to provide a default. All right. RF to the machine. Thanks. Yes. I might try that. Okay. So let's see, Python. So I could roll back. What I could do is roll back all the migrations and cards here, because the DEX migration doesn't depend on cards. It doesn't need cards. So I might do that. Why do I always get stuck in migrations at some point? Even simple app, complex app, any app. Okay. Not run, but let's do migrate. And then the name of the app is the cards app. And then I think I can do 0, right? Was it 0 or was it capital 0? Rendering, unapplying. Okay, so unapplied all the migrations so far. Okay, so now it unapplied all the migrations. And yeah, and there's also nothing in the table no data that I have to worry about. Yeah, there's not even a table there. Good. So now, make migrations. Now this will just make, oh, no. Stop. Okay. Delete. Let me delete the current migration that's there because I just unapplied them all. Make sure. No migrations. Okay, good. One more time. Let me make migrations. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on in the chat. Yes, thank you. Okay. Yeah, I guess I can't use null fields for foreign keys in Mongo. Wait, where's my cards? Oh, never mind. This was just make migrations. I need to migrate. I keep forgetting. Migrate cards. Okay, please. Yes. Okay. Now my table should be there. Does the foreign key point to a primary key? That's a good thing to point out because, oh yeah, it does because it's, oh, I guess you can't see here yet, but the ID field, and not the Mongo ID field, but it's creating a custom ID field just by default, because I haven't changed that. So it is pointing to that ID field, so it is pointing to a primary key. Okay, let me try running this, see if it runs. Oh yeah, let me do run server. Okay, and I should be able to, I have no cards in here. I also have my API here. So I can do deck. Oh yeah, so I'm going to have to create a deck first. So let me go to the decks endpoint. And decks detail not found. I guess because there was nothing to get. Yeah, I wonder if this API even works. Let me call this test deck. This should be a post, not a put. Yeah. Something's wrong with decks. Let me try to debug what I did with decks here. And then let's see. Decks, here's decks view set, deck, decks serializer, deck.objects.all of this is right. URLs, I have decks view set, and this is pointing from here. I have apps.dex.urls. Oh, that's right. Okay. I don't have my URL properly set up. Okay, so now this should work. Yeah, now I'm not getting that weird error. So here on name, I can do, it's getting late, I'm tired. I can do test deck. Now it shows me a post. Okay, now I have a deck. So now if I go to the cards endpoint here, I can do test question, test, and then I can point it or link it to test deck. I'm glad fast API is a thing now. Django and Flask feel old. I haven't tried fast API. Maybe I'll try that. Okay, sweet. So I created a card. I can create, I don't know, let me do 2 and 2. Okay, so now I've created 2 cards. I can get them both back. Unfortunately, I don't have an endpoint to say get the cards back, filter them by deck, but I don't know. Maybe if I do another stream, I can do that. Okay, and this should show decks. Yeah, and I can see my deck here. Okay, everything, all the basics of a Django app are working now. Let me push this to the repo I made. So I made this Django Mongo SRL. SRL is short for spaced repetition learning. So let me grab this URL here. And well, first I need to get init and get remote add origin, post this. And actually one more thing I need to do that I don't think I have here. Yeah, I need a get ignore file. So let me just add that real quick before I'm pushing strange things. Yeah, let me go to getignore.io. And if you get the decks, is it showing the cards as well? No, none of that is working right now. All right, Python. What else do I need to ignore? VS Code. I'm on Mac, but I'll just put Windows there for whatever. Of course, Vim. That's important. Um, let's see. Linux. I think that's it. Yeah. Let me create that. Okay. So that should be, let me make sure, because last time I feel like my PyCache wasn't in there. PyCache, okay. Maybe I forgot to do Python for some reason. Okay, my virtual environment, it's grayed out now. That's a good sign. So now I can do git status. I need to add everything. Apps, config, manage, lock. Yep, I'll just add everything. Oh yeah, git commit -m first commit and git push -u origin master. Have you tried using PyCharm? Yes, I actually have I've had PyCharm community for a while, and my company got me PyCharm, the regular or the full version, so I've been playing around with that too. Yeah, I like it. It does a lot of things for me, but somehow I kind of like a lot of the things that it does for me aren't really in my way, I guess, like setting up virtual environments and all of that stuff for me. I need to get used to some of the more advanced features of PyCharm, and then I think I'm going to have a reason to want to use it more, basically. Why go backwards to PyCharm? PyCharm does a lot of things, though, and from what I've heard, it runs faster than VS Code, like if I have a whole bunch of things open. VS Code isn't bad, though, and I think it's even improved over the years since it launched. But I just heard that PyCharm was more efficient, although I have not tested that. Okay, so here is the repo where it should have pushed to. Access data. Yes, databases. That's what people have been telling me that. Yeah, basically, someone was explaining to me how they use the database client from PyCharm, which is really nice. So this is the repo for spaced repetition learning. If you want to take a look at, that's the Mongo one that I worked on today. There's also you code React in PyCharm. Oh, I didn't even think about doing front end in PyCharm. There's also that one, which is in GraphQL, and this one, which is the same app, but just Postgres and Django REST framework, no GraphQL and no Mongo. So I thought it was cool to like build the same thing in a bunch of different technologies and kind of compare them. So yeah, I hope you liked it. And here's the wiki also. I'll go ahead and post this in the chat that I've been working on. So if you are interested in giving me some recommendations for how I can improve this wiki for setting up Django projects, then let me know. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the stream tonight. So, sorry, so let me just do a very brief intro since I wasn't on the mic a second ago. So basically, I am building off of this repo, which is MongoDB with Django. I just got the basics set up pretty much last time, and last time I set up these two endpoints basically with /cards and /cards/ID. This is using Django REST framework and then MongoDB as the database. The endpoint I really need to set up is dex/id/cards. So instead of pulling all the cards back, I can use this endpoint and get the cards that are just associated with a single deck. And so I'm going to have to figure out how to use the Django ORM to do Mongo queries. So that's going to be fun. Or maybe just queries with Django itself instead of using the Django ORM. And then something I've set up before, but might be fun to set up with Mongo. If I have time at the end of the stream, then I will set up some filtering, maybe searching, sorting, that kind of thing. So Django REST Framework has some really good options for that kind of stuff. So that's always fun to do. So yeah, let me start with trying to get this endpoint set up. And let me see. So here's my code. Let me close that. So it's basically I have the cards app and the decks app, and then I have my config with, all the standard Django config settings, URLs, all of that stuff. So let me run my server. I'm already in my folder and inside of my virtual environment here. So I'm just going to do python manage.py run server, and it's on port 8000. So if we do localhost 8000, it should come up with the Django REST framework page, and this page shows me all of my endpoints that I have access to right now. So let me just do, I'm not doing users in this app just to simplify it, so I can test out Mongo without having to worry about auth stuff. So I have ability to do CRUD operations here, and I also get back all of my cards. Now these are all associated with deck 1. And I want to try filtering, so I want to try pulling from a single deck, and now there's only one deck, so I need 2 decks to make sure I'm doing it right. So first thing I'm going to have to do is create a second deck. Hi Juhert, how are you? No, sorry, I will get a new laptop at some point, but this laptop is pretty old and runs really hot, so I can try to turn my mic maybe and see. But yeah, I keep saying that I will, and I will pretty soon, but just give me a few months and I'll have a new setup with no background white noise. So sorry if that's annoying. Okay, so admin cards decks, log in, log out. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, let me go to the admin/admin, and I can see cards and decks. Let me create a new deck from here. It's just easier than in the normal REST framework place. And I'm going to call this JavaScript. Save. So I have JavaScript test deck. I'll add a third deck. I'll call this Python. Save that. Hi Yamamura, thanks for the follow. All right, cool. There's 3 decks now, so let me go to cards and associate some cards. So I have these 2 test questions. They're associated with the test question deck. So I'm gonna just make some dummy questions like, what is Python? And associate this with the Python deck. And then I'll make one for JavaScript. So let me add a new card. What is JS? And then JavaScript. Okay, so I have some different cards with different decks. This is a good setup for filtering. And okay, my server's running. Here's my code. So now the next thing I need to do, so index, I'm going to put my URL index because I already have this URL, which is basically the /dex URL. And so what I need to do here is register /dex/ID/cards URL here. And this has to be a nested router. Thanks for the follow. I'm in break. How are you? Okay, so I need to register this URL here, and to do that I actually need to import, or I need a new library. So instead of REST framework, I need to install a REST framework nested to kind of easily set up those nested views. It's much easier than doing it manually. So let me see, we're routers. So if I go, I'm in the Django REST framework docs, and goes over all the routers, but then if I scroll to the bottom, it kind of has the third-party packages, and DRF nested routers is so useful. So I can make nested routes. I give some examples: /domain, and then this, and then /name servers, and it gives you multiple nested, can't even remember the name. So there's not methods, but thanks for the follow, Rala Java. Yeah, it'll come to me. Oh, resources, nested resources and item endpoints. That's what it does. And installation, I can just install it with DRF nested routers. Now I am using Poetry here, so I'm not going to do a pip install, and it will add it to this toml file automatically. So I'm going to stop my server and say, what am I doing? Poetry add, and then the package name. And that's installing. So now I should see it. Yeah, here, DRF nested routers and the version number. Okay, so now I can import this in my project. And quick start, how to do it. Yeah, basically I'm going to, instead of importing routers from REST framework, I'm just going to import it from REST framework nested, and that's going to give me a lot more routing options. So I'm going to copy this and just basically replace that line. And here we go. So I'm already getting my views, and this, my default router is going to change. Okay, that's already a simple router, good. Register, yeah, this is the same thing that it would be otherwise. And now I need to create this nested route. So I'm just going to copy this and update it so I don't have to hand type out everything. And basically I have to give a name to this router, and oh wait, I'm going to call it, let's see, I guess cards router. Yeah, because I'm already in the dex URLs file, so everything is associated with the deck in this file. Let's see, I passed in the router, so that's correct. And then this string here has to match the URL string from here, but it's just an empty string because I'm defining what the route is in my config/URLs file. So you can see my apps dex URLs file already has dex/ in it. So I don't need any other additions to that endpoint, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Lookup, let's see, dex. Okay, so cards router.register. Now here's where I register my nested route, and so I'm going to call this cards. And this route, because I'm registering it on top of this router, so it'll be nested, which is what I want. So it'll be dex /ID/cards, if that makes sense. Thanks for the follow. Peace within, is that what it's short for? Welcome to the stream. So name server view set. I need to create a class for this, so I'm going to say deck cards view set. Yeah. Base name, I think I don't need a base name if I have a regular view set, but if it throws an error, I can change anything. Okay, so URL patterns. Now that I have more than just the plain router, I do need to change this. So I should be able to register URLs here if I remember. I think it's a list of tuples, and then I can say, let me see. Views, yeah, URL. Well, this will be path, so I wrap it in path, and then I need an include too. So let me do this, path, and then include, And then here it's router.urls. Thanks for the follow, Jozunks. How are you? Oh, and Rodrigo. Oh, it's good to meet you too, Rodrigo. Do either of you do any Django? Let's see. Include. Oh, how's everything going in Croatia? I haven't actually been to Croatia, but I've kind of been around it. So hopefully one day I will make it out that way. Path router. Oh yeah, this has to be the second router. So I have to register both routers. So cards underscore router. Okay, so now I have my routers registered, but it's still going to throw an error because I don't have this class here. So let me just clean this up, import the correct classes, and now I need to create this deck cards view set. What am I working on? So I'm working on, let's see, here it is. I'm working on this repo. So I did this repo, I already did the setup for this repo last Sunday, and now I'm basically trying to actually get a useful query in here that'll pull back the cards associated with a certain deck. This repo is called Django Mongo SRL. SRL stands for Spaced Repetition Learning. So I've built several of these apps. You can kind of read in the repo here. I built 2 different versions of this same backend for a spaced repetition learning system. So you can check those out if you want. And I'm using MongoDB with this Django library. Yeah, and let's see. So I have to create deck cards view set. So here's my views, very, very simple views file. So I need to create a class and extend from viewsets dot. Let me try model viewset. Okay, and I need a serializer class here. And I think I can just actually borrow the card serializer, because that's going to give me all the fields that I need. I can just import that from this other folder. So, oh, thanks, Maya Bang. Let's see. So if I import the serializer, oh yeah, I put my serializers in views because it's a small project. But I have this card serializer that should give me just all the card fields back in the format that I want. So, if you're new to Django, the serializers take care of serializing and deserializing data, so it's in the format that you want when you're getting it from a request or you're sending it back to whoever requested it from the API. So, okay, so card serializer, let me import that from here. So from, let's see, views, import, Python is so great, card serializer. Okay, let's see, so query set will be, and then this is where I want to really filter. Let's see, cards.objects.all. But what I'm going to try to do is actually overwrite the list method. So in Django REST framework, the list method, I can create a method called list. And basically, if I'm pulling back all cards, it'll run this method, and then I can make it filter to just the cards that I want. And I think I get self and request on this. Oh, and I'll also get, let's see, I'll get another variable. So I'll get, oh, this should not be, oh yeah, that should be that, yes. Let's see, I think lookup should be dex, because lookup will, I think it's lookup that will make it deck underscore ID. So then here, because that will be a route param, so I can get deck underscore ID, because Django will append this ID to that lookup, so it'll be called deck ID. Maybe that'll make more sense when I actually do this. Oh, through Free Code Camp? Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm working on some more stuff for Free Code Camp too. That's such a good platform, and that helped me out so much actually. When I was looking for my first job back in 2015, they're just a great group of people working on that. Okay, so I have my query set. So list, let me see if this even works, like if I created any bugs yet. Okay, cards is not defined, so I'm not importing cards. Let's see. Cards. Oh, that's from view, so I need to import the model. So let's say from apps.cards.models import card, and that'll import my card model from over here, which I have question, answer, and deck. Okay, and deck is what I want to filter based off of. So now I have my card imported. Wait, cards. Oh. Right. I accidentally made this plural, so that should fix that error. Oh, path is not defined. I have to import those. And those are actually from Django, not from Django REST framework. So I need to import path and let's see. Import path. Oh, they don't have it in the example here. But basically I need to get the include and the, not URL because URL is kind of older, but I need path and include. And let me just look that up real quick where I get that import from. So Django import path include Django URLs. Okay, from Django.urls import include and path. Perfect. Okay, so I need that. Let's see. Yeah, I'll do it here. That's, oh, this is completely the wrong file. Let me put it here. And, oops. There we go. Just like to keep my stuff in a certain order. First Django, then Django REST framework, then packages, and then my local imports. Okay, so now my server seems to be running without error. That's good. DuckDuckGo. Oh, hey, Seeker of Truth. It must be late where you live. Thanks. I'm glad you tuned in. Have a good night. Do I like the, yeah, DuckDuckGo is great. You have to get used to it because sometimes you want to make a Google query and sometimes DuckDuckGo is actually better because it's not giving you results based off of what they want you to see, you know? Thanks for the follow, John CL. So also, if you don't know DuckDuckGo, there's a way, like here, I can search for something. I don't know what that's gonna bring up. I can search for hello, but I can also do bang G and then hello. And that will, DuckDuckGo will send me to Google. So DuckDuckGo has a lot of bang things, like bang, I can't even remember all the rest, like, but it'll search GitHub, it'll search Reddit, Twitter, anything. So you can use this bang symbol and then some other character, like Twitter. And then it would search it if I had put a search term. So I'm going to get out of Twitter though before I start looking at things. Yeah, thanks. Bang W for Wikipedia, YouTube. Yeah, DuckDuckGo is great because then you can choose, you know, where you want to search. Google just kind of keeps you inside of Google the whole time. Yeah, so definitely try it out. See if you like it. Okay, so done with that. Let's see. Deck cards view set. What else do I need? Oh yeah, I need to now create this list. Actually, I should have that endpoint. Let me just check if I have that endpoint now. So I have dex slash. Let me do that. Now I have all my decks. Let me do /2. Now I have that one deck. And now let me do /cards. And I have an error. Okay, so list got an unexpected keyword argument deck PK. So, oh, it's supposed to be PK, not ID. That's right. Okay, there we go. See, Django is helpful. Okay, restarted. Okay, now it's complaining because my list class isn't returning anything, but so this is a valid error. So let me fix that now. Let me go here and say, I'm going to use cards. So I'm going to say card.objects.filter. And then I think I can do this. Yeah, because I'm just using the regular Django ORM, even though I'm plugging it into a Mongo database. So I'm just going to assume that I can do this as I normally would until something goes wrong, and then I can figure out how to fix it the Mongo way, I guess. So deck needs to equal deck PK. I think that will filter correctly for me. And let me set this equal to cards equals. I have no other variable called cards. Okay. Just in case I was going to use it inside here, but I won't be anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then what do I want to do with cards? I need to return a response here. So let me return response. And then the response I want to return is, oh, I need to serialize this here because I'm doing a custom function for list. So it's not automatically going to serialize. So I can do self.serializer class. Let me see. So if I do self.get serializer, thank you. And then I need to do, I think I can just pass in cards now. Oh, and many equals true, because this is going to be a whole list and not just a single card. So let me call this serializer equals greetings from Argentina. Cool. How are things going in Argentina? Hi Vangor, how are you? I like the robots. Let's see. Cards, serializer. Yeah, so I can return serializer.data. That was right. Because that will be in the correct format to return it in a response, basically. And then I need to return a status. Well, the status is optional. I think it'll return a 200 by default, so that's fine. I do need to import this response, though, and I can't remember where to import that from, so let me look that up. So Django REST response. Oh, thanks, Vangor. Well, I do like my videos. Requests and responses. It should be somewhere in here. Return response introduces a response object, which is a type of template response. Okay, but it doesn't say where it's coming from. Oh, here. REST framework.response import response. Okay, good. So let me do that. And now I can return the response. I'm just guessing that this is going to work, but I don't really know. So, sweet! Yes, it filtered correctly. Okay, good. Sometimes it's hard to remember like the exact syntax for everything, but cool. Oh, I'm happy about this. All right, so I have the list, and then this is the only method I defined. So that list method basically affects a get request to the resource. Thanks for the follow, Codec. Oh, you watched a Vue video. Yeah, I love doing Vue. Oh, hey, Tayano. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but thank you for the raid. What were you guys working on? Oh, sorry if my bot is stopping you. I might have to fix my bot permissions. But yeah, welcome to the chat. Thanks for joining. I'm working, let me post the repo that I'm working off of so you can see. It's a Django REST framework with Mongo app using Django. So, hey everyone. Okay, and basically I just got this working. So apparently with MongoDB, I can use the regular Django ORM, which is awesome. It's awesome that I can choose to use it with SQL or NoSQL, just with a few changes. I can use, pretty much regular models and queries and stuff like that. Although I can use, all those Mongo specific queries if I want to. Yeah, MongoDB is great for a lot of things. Oh, cheating and academic honesty. Thanks for the follow, Ripier. That's good because actually it's funny because I just started working at a coding boot camp recently, just part-time. Like I work as a developer of my regular work, but I started teaching a few hours a day as well. Yeah, so that's a hot topic. Did you come up with any solutions? I would like to know about them. All right, so let's see, cards, serializer, response. So we just got this list working basically, but that is to the resource endpoint, to dex/id/cards. I wonder if, well, it seems like I can post here. Yeah, I should be able to because the serializer and everything is still set up. So let me see if I can make a post request. Oh yeah, I just go ahead and make it from down here. So, oh, I shouldn't be able to pick the deck from here. So I'll have to fix that later. Because if I'm already at dex/id/cards, I would want to just post to that one deck. Okay, let me see if item endpoints work. Let me just do cards/, well, here's ID4. So let me do ID4 and sweet. I get back that single object. So this seems to all work just fine. And let me add one more card. So how to use JS. That. And this will be JavaScript deck. Okay. Oops. So now I can make another GET request. Yeah, it pulls back these two. Okay. So that was quicker than I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to, the next thing, well, at the beginning of my stream, I mentioned I wanted to do filtering if I got done with that other thing I was fixing. So I think I am going to set up filtering for cards. First person shooter. Okay. Do you know how to code a first person shooter? No. Not sure I'll ever be doing that either. I've done a few like little mobile games, but not too heavy into the games. Yeah, I like playing games, not creating them. Okay, so filtering against current user, Yeah, so what would I want to filter if I were to filter something? So let me take a look at what I have here. So I have two apps pretty much and two models, so cards and decks. If I wanted to filter, I would probably filter from the question name maybe. I might be able to sort like alphabetically, up or down, ascending or descending based off of the question name. And then actually if I look at my models here, I have the question, the answer, and the deck. Okay, so I'm going to set up some custom filtering. This is kind of a simple app, so I won't need to set up too much filtering for it, but I want to see if this is any different setting it up with Mongo versus Postgres, what I normally use. Filter by question type, like multiple choice versus open-ended. That's a good idea. Maybe I should add another field to card then. Let me look at deck. Deck is just name. How sad. So name and whatever ID Django gives me. Okay, so yeah, let me add another field. Let me get rid of all these. That'll make it more interesting. So on cards, let's see. Admin apps models. Let's say I want to do type. Type equals, and let's do models dot. Oh, I don't want to do just type because this is a Python keyword. So let me do question type. Models dot integer field, and I should set up choices here, and then also a default. And then for choices, I can't remember what that's called, but basically I want to make a question types class, I think. And then I'll have to inherit something here. I can't remember what it is. And then I basically want to set up the choices as attributes on this class. And let me look up how to do that in Django because I forget. Okay, so Django, let's see. Let me start with integer choices class. Maybe that'll come up with the right thing because I don't want just regular choices. Okay, so if I did a regular like tuple of tuples or list of lists or whatever with choices, I could have just the integer and then the string, but yeah, I need to look. Hopefully there's a result with the Django docs. Let's see. Allow using enum class. I think this is what I want. Student. Yeah, this is it. So this is like in a proposal, but new feature fixed. But how do I get to the actual docs, Django docs from it? Maybe if I search for Django enum. No, okay, here's choices. So, class, here it is. Okay, so enumeration types. Do they have a, yeah, here. So I can post this link in the chat here. A little trivia question for chat. What does type put? Okay. Filter by question type. All right. So I guess I won't look in the answer to that. Let's see, year in school, and then models.text choices. This is it, but I think I want integer choices. I think they have a different one somewhere. Text choices. Here it is, integer choices. This is what I want. Models.integer choices. So this is what I'm going to import from. Okay, that's talking about that. So question types. Oops. Let's get question types. So what type of questions would I have? Someone said multiple choice, open-ended. So I guess what I can do is multiple choice. I think this is how I'll do it. Yeah, I need to have a proper label there. So I'll do multiple choice equals 1, and then fill in the blank, and then true or false. Okay, and then choices here will be question types. I think I need to do dot choices. Yeah. Okay. So it gives me dot choices there. And now I think I'm going to put this on 2 lines. Okay, so question type, and then that will be a model integer field, and that will equal these choices. And then, oh wait, these are all 1. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Oh, let me do short answer, and then maybe I'll put short answer as the default. That's really the only one that you can have so far. I'll have to make a different answers table if I really want to actually implement these different things, but we'll try it just for filtering purposes. We're going to add this field right now. Gotta use Spring, Java Spring. Yeah, I might be using that soon. I thought I was going to be using it right away, but ends up the project that I'm working on, I need to do React first, and then I might be jumping over to Java again. Yeah. Thanks for the follow, Tapayok. How are you? Question types at choices. Okay, so now I need to actually run this migration. Oh, duplicate values found. What did I do? Oh, these ones. That's right. Okay, that should work. Let me make sure my server runs again first. Okay, my server runs. Now let me do Python manage.py make migrations. Okay, and then Python manage.py migrate. Let me just check that migration real quick. Yeah, so you see what it did there? It took the name of the variable and basically made that a tuple of the strings. But the only reason why I did it as an enum kind of thing here, instead of just a list of these, I put it in a class instead, because I can access them now by doing, I can access the different types by doing like question types dot the name of it, instead of, it's easier to reference and know what it is throughout the code base rather than just doing a number, because then every single time when I see that in a code base, you know, you have to look up what is that number, and then you keep forgetting. So this is I think a cleaner way of writing choices. There's JavaScript in Python. I've used other languages. I had to build something in Go once, and I used PHP a long time ago. I probably don't even remember any PHP. And then I worked in Java for like 7 months or so. I've dabbled in other languages, but yeah, most of my jobs have done JavaScript and Python. I did a little bit of C recently, and then I was like, this is so hard, because I didn't have all my regular methods. It makes you appreciate Python a lot when you work in C. or I wasn't working at it at work, but I did some projects in it. Okay, so I have that. I have my migration, that's fine. Actually migrate it. Oh, something happened. I got some kind of an error. Okay, so I tried to run this SQL query and I couldn't do it. Why? I wonder if this has anything to do with Mongo. Okay, not implemented. Yes, I feel like I had this problem before with Mongo. Add column question type. Not null. Okay, let me just try, because I don't actually need those other questions. I don't have a database client open, so I'm just going to use the Django here. So what if I get rid of all my questions? Just delete them. Oh, my server's not running. Let me run my server. Okay, now I can go back into here. And now I will try to run migrations. No, okay. I remember I got this error before, and it seems to be something that Mongo, like this would work if I was using Postgres with Django, but some kind of specific thing that I need to fix with Mongo. Does Mongo support SQL? If you want to use SQL, I don't think you would be using Mongo in the first place. No, I think it just prints out as SQL, but I think it's supposed to, like, migrations are supposed to run with Mongo, or I think Django makes them work with them. Because the initial migration does work. Like, this works to set up that table and everything in Mongo. Because I have Mongo set up, where is it? In my settings. If I go to database, I have MongoDB set up here. So, but I feel like there are some queries that don't work with Django yet. Like, maybe this add field, maybe add field doesn't work. Yeah, there is SQL in the error message. Okay, so I could try, I think maybe what I'm going to do is, since this migration hasn't run yet, I'm going to delete it. And then for cards, I'm actually going to, I don't think anything depends on this migration. Maybe Dex does. Let me look at Dex. No dependencies. Okay, so I think what I can do is just roll back migration and then rerun and recreate an initial migration. So, what am I typing in Git? Okay, Python manage .py. I'm gonna undo that all cards migrations. So I'm gonna migrate cards, the cards app, and then do 0. And see, it unapplied that initial migration from cards. So now I can delete this file because this only has ID, question, answer, and dec. But if I recreate the file, it's going to have every field on it. So I deleted that initial migration. So now, let's see. Okay, so now I'm going to recreate an initial migration, but including the new field. So I'm going to do make migrations. Okay, and that created a new initial migration. Okay, it does have a dependency of the Dex, but that's okay. Dex doesn't really have anything on it. So Okay, ID, question, answer, question type. Now it's included in the initial migration. No, actually ID here, Mongo's going to create its own ID anyway. So actually, confusingly, there are two IDs now. And I really should look up how to turn that off. Maybe I will right after this. But you'll see when I, maybe I'll open up a client, my MongoDB client real quick. Let me just run that migration first. Migrate. Okay, this version of Django. These are all just Django warnings. That's fine. But it did run this migration now. So now if I do Python manage.py run server, it should run. Okay, now if I add, yeah, now it gets question type. Okay, that worked. Basically, Mongo seems to run the initial query to create this table and these fields and everything, but whenever you update something, it seems to just break or not want to do exactly how you want it to do, which is fine. I mean, the ORM wasn't initially built for NoSQL, so it's kind of fuzzy how it works there. Let me try opening Compass. Where's my Compass app? Okay, MongoDB Compass. Hopefully, okay, that's going to take a second to load. Mongo needs, yeah, it does. I was wondering if I could use the underscore ID, if maybe for Django, I could just set the default ID to look for underscore ID instead of what it normally does, like the auto incrementing ID. Let me try to connect. Okay, so I have this Space Learning app. That's what I'm working off of. And let's see, card. This is what I have. So I need to add data here to look at it. So let me add test question. I'll do it in the test deck. Short answer. Okay. So now I have one question. Let me, how do I refresh? Refresh. Okay. Yeah, see how, can I zoom in? Yeah, cool. So see how it has the Mongo ID, like the underscore, and then it has the regular ID. I would like to get rid of this auto incrementing ID and then use the Mongo ID like you would normally in a Mongo database. I guess I've never thought about how to do that before because I've always used Postgres with Django. So let me see, actually. Django, the library Django, how to remove duplicate IDs. No, it's just, it's not coming up with any MongoDB. MongoDB change to underscore ID. Disabling auto indexing. Oh, this is weird. Change underscore ID to ID. I don't know if I want to do that. But then if I turn off auto indexing, a lot of built-in stuff in Django looks for that as the primary key. Or I guess I set my own primary keys sometimes, so I guess it doesn't matter, right? I could set anything as a primary key. So yeah, let me try that. Thanks for the suggestion. Disabling auto indexing Django. see. Auto-generate name. For foreign keys, logging. Let me try searching Google for this one. To monetize. I feel like I'm not getting good search results. Does Django automatically generate indexes? Let me look at model index reference. Index.fields, no. Yeah, I don't know. Let me try one more time. Otherwise, I might just leave it like it is. It's not hurting me at all. So let's do Django MongoDB. And let me think. Change to _ID. Is it possible to override? No. Change to ID. Let me see what this is. When I'm using Django and Mongo engine. No, that I'm not using the same thing as him probably. That was too old. Cannot correctly set primary key. Primary key equals true. Finally, I created another field, ID. This time I can create from both web page and admin panel. Primary key equals object ID. Yeah, this is something I'll have to think of. Maybe. Because let me see if there's just an easy way to like Django set. Well, I can always set the primary key, just like this. I can set just any kind of an ID and then it'll automatically give me an ID. But then I wonder if that would fight with MongoDB though. Let me try in their issues. If they have newer issues. Let me look for primary key. Filtering on primary key. Admin is not taking the ID field as the default. Yeah, that's what I want. I want it to set as the default. So let's see. This person is saying a simple model with one field. Admin says the model properly, but the list view is looking for the default ID field. It is not overwritten by that _ID. Well, how is he trying to do _ID? Because he only has name. This will automatically give you an ID field. Yeah, I don't know what he's trying to do. Okay, apparently there was no solution for that. And I wish he had showed some code, but he didn't. Oh wait, DB index. Maybe this is it. One more try. DB index equals true. No. Field in for the primary key. Okay, never mind. I think that's just not what I'm looking for anyway. Okay. Well, if anyone figures that out, I would love to know about it. I might try to search for the answer later, but just not live. Okay, so anyway, I want to get some filtering in the app now that I have that other field. Which, let me put this over here. So now that I have that other field set up, the question type, so I want to be able to filter based off of the question type. So actually first let me just add different question types, just random types. JavaScript, and then deck. And these can be from any deck, I guess, because I'm filtering based off of the type. So what is Python? Let's do multiple choice. Python. Okay, let me add one more multiple choice. And then Python. Okay, so I'm going to try to implement filtering here. And this is a third-party package that I think is linked from here. So REST Framework does have some built-in filtering options that, wait, requests and responses. Oh, here. REST Framework does have some built-in filtering options that work pretty well, but they don't seem to be quite what I'd ever need for a project. So, thanks for the follow, Henry Francois. Is that how you pronounce it? I remember from studying French, that was so long ago, I don't really remember anything. Generic filtering. Yeah, so it has all these filtering. But there's this library Django filter, which is just awesome. Generic reusable application to alleviate writing some more of the mundane bits of view code. So it does a lot of things for you, and then you can set some filter backends, basically. So let me look at, let's see, first installation. Let me install the app. Oh, cool. Awesome. Okay, let me install the app. With Poetry, so Poetry add Django filter. By the way, if you're just joining, I want to post the link to the repo that I'm working off of, spelled with a quiet H. Oh, Poetry is a Python package manager that it's really nice. It gives me a lock file for dependencies and peer dependencies and things. And then all of my main dependencies are in this TOML file, which is a Python standard. So this file isn't just used by Poetry, it's used by a lot of modern Python tooling. And there's a PEP standard for this. I can't remember which one it is, but it's one of them. So yeah, you can look up pyproject.toml file. Anyway, so this is all my main dependencies that I've installed. And of course, there would be dev dependencies if I had any of those installed. So now I have Django filter. So I need to set this up in my application. And let me close this. Here's Django filter. Let me move this over here. Okay, so I need to add it to my installed apps. So let me go to settings, and where are my installed apps? So okay, Django filters, and then I need to go to get started. Let's see. This is just showing creating a model and then showing how to filter off that model. But this is creating a filter class. And basically, I want to use my views and just set a few filter options. So let me see. Fields, filter. Let's see. Employee filter. Meta, view. Oh, here it is. Integration with DRF. So DRF is Django REST Framework. That's what I'm using. So yeah, I'm going to be using these attributes, these filter attributes. So let me zoom in. By the way, here's what I'm looking at, if you want to look at it. Coding in Rust. Cool. I like Rust. I went, I don't know, maybe 75% through the Rust book before. And I kept wanting to use it for, I guess, real projects, but I never got around to it. One of these days I will. Okay, so filter. So there's a bunch of options that I can set on my views now. And this shows list API view, but I think I can use it in many different views, in different kinds of views, because generics, a lot of the views, if you look at the code, like the source code for REST framework, a lot of the views import from the same base classes. So yeah, I'll figure it out though. But if I have to change my view sets, I will. But let's see, filter backend and filter set fields. So let me go into cards now. I'll stay out of decks for a while. So now in my cards view, on my cards view set, I want to add some of those filter attributes. And Django filter backend. Yeah. Okay, so I can set my backends, and I can create custom backends too with like custom filtering options, which I'm actually doing at work. But here it's such a simple app, I think I'll just use whatever standard built-in ones they have. Okay, I can set this as the default filter backend too. Where do I import? Okay, from Django filters, import REST framework as filters. Let me go ahead and import that. All right, so let me go there, give a space. Okay, and so now I have a filter backend, which when I demo this, it'll be more clear what I'm doing. I'm setting up filters for Django REST framework right now. Commo. So category and in stock. Let me see what fields I want to filter off of. And I think I'll just do that one field right now. Let's see. Admin, models. And I think question would be more of a search field or a sort field. And answer I can just skip, but question type is what I want. So the only field I really want here is this one. So, okay. And let me try that. So now, oh yeah, let me run my app first. Run server. Okay, the server runs okay. I have my thing installed. I should be able to just run this. Actually, if I had, what is that API viewer called? I can't remember the name of it. Swagger. If I had Swagger set up, I think it would be easier to see this, but oh well. So now I can put query params. I have dex, get rid of that. So on the cards endpoint, I'm going to query for question type. And I think question type can equal 1 maybe? Sweet! Cool. So question type equals 1. Let's see about 2. So 2. Yay! Filtering works. That's good. Okay, so I can filter based off of the question type. And this is pretty easy to set up in Django REST framework. Yeah, Postman is definitely nice. I have Postman set up pretty nicely on my work computer, not on this laptop. So I do have Postman here though, but let's see. What am I? Oh yeah, search fields. So they have filter fields and filter sets, or filter backends and filter set fields. Oh, thanks for the follow. Hello, Aaron. How are you? Search filter, user list. Oh yeah, search fields. Here it is. This is what I want. So I'm going to set search fields now, because I do want to search by the question. So if you want to search for a specific question, you can. So I'm going to just say, oh, this, I guess I don't need the parentheses for a tuple, but just makes it a little nicer. Okay, so search fields, and I'll search by question. And let's see if this works. So question and question type. So question, I don't know. Maybe I can just put Java. Oh, it got back everything. Question equals. Oh, right. It's ignoring the query parameter because I put question equals and I don't have custom query parameters set up, so I have to do search equals. That's what I need to do. Okay. It didn't work, but that's okay. Maybe it's not search. Maybe that's not what I'm trying to do. Okay, I have this wrong. So it's setting. Let me look for search. Okay, so search docs. Here's search fields. Yeah, it says search equals. So it should be able to search. Oh, I need the search filter as a filter backend. Because right now I'm just doing Django filter backend. So I do need to tell it that I want to search. So let me do that. Yeah, a lot of things are way easier than in Django. The coding school that I'm teaching at teaches Express in the. So first it teaches like JavaScript and then React and Express and all that stuff. And then at the very end of the program, it gets to Python and Django. So it kind of gets to a more robust, comprehensive framework after you set everything up yourself. So I think it is good to learn Express and then use Django for client apps because it makes things easier. So, okay. Django filters REST framework has no attribute search filter. Okay. Oh. Because this is just from REST framework itself. Right. So how am I going to do this? Because the names clash now. So let me actually just import REST framework.filters and import it directly for this one. So I'll import search filter. And then, oh wait. I'll do, oh, yeah. Okay, and then that should work. Let me see. No module named REST framework.filter. Oh, filters. Must be filters, right? Yeah, okay. I just had it spelled wrong. Okay, so let me try searching. Yay, and now it searches. So let me try Python. Cool. Test. Awesome. So now I can search and filter on this. And actually this isn't, I thought all of these things were going to be different using Mongo, but actually they're the exact same because I'm just using Django standard ways of doing things. All right, so Mongo isn't too different. I think where it would get different using Mongo is where I'm setting up, if I'm doing custom indexes or something like that. And then also, was something else here. I can't remember what it was when I was reading through the documentation. I think it was like complex queries or something. Constraints. Yeah, there's quite a few things you can import from Django. Actually, I think my models are imported from Django. So if I go to models, apps.django.db. Okay, never mind. I'm just using the default Django models, but I think there are models and things you can import from MongoDB. Oh yeah, if you want to create object IDs and like Mongo specific things. Alrighty, searches and filters done. I mean, they use the Django ORM under the hood, I think, for all of the searching and filtering. Because when I create my own custom filters, I'm just using the regular Django ORM to interface with the database. And I try to never do anything without using an ORM with the database, unless I'm absolutely sure that there's going to be no security flaw there. Okay, so filter set fields, search fields. I wonder if there's anything else. There's so many other things I can do, like custom fields with Django. But this might be a good place to leave this app, since it's not a long-term project. It was more of an example app to get Mongo working with Django. Oh yeah, ordering filter. Let me do this one because this is so useful. And you can order ascending or descending. Yeah, let me do the ordering filter. And this just comes from straight up the Django REST framework too. So actually this only takes a second to set up because I can just add this to my filter backends. Okay. So let me Oh yeah, that's right. Django handles converting all of it to Mongo queries. I actually haven't really looked at the source code for Django yet. I guess I would if I used it in a bigger project maybe. What was I doing? Oh yeah, ordering. So let me pass in some fields to order by. First, let me just get everything back real quick. Okay, so what would I want to order by? Let me try ordering by, I don't know, question. Yeah, I'll just order by question. So I think I can just do ordering equals question. Cool. And it ordered alphabetically by the question now. And if I wanted to change it to descending or ascending, the opposite way, I can do minus. Yeah, and now it's the opposite, basically. And then I could do a second one. I think I can just add a comma here and do like answer. Yeah. And then I can just keep adding fields to order by this field and then this field and then that field. So all of that stuff is pretty easy to set up. Oh, my dot files, yeah. I have a decent Vim setup in my terminal. There's probably a few things I need to update in those dot files, but overall I'm happy with it. And then I don't actually know if I have my Zish in there, if I have that config. Let's see. Filter. When I get my new computer, I'm planning on doing a video of everything that I set up on it. Okay, so I have search, filter, ordering. That's all pretty much the standard stuff. This app is too simple for much custom work, custom filtering or anything. A default ordering. Yeah, I guess I could specify default ordering here if I wanted to. Or I guess it's just called ordering. No, it's order equals, and then the order would be question type maybe? Oh, it is ordering. It's getting late. Okay, so now if I refresh, yeah, now it switched it around because it's ordering by the question type. So it starts at 1 and then 2 and then 4 instead of the default ordering being the ID, which is what it normally is. All right, cool. Oh, hey, CM Griffin. You always read so late. Yeah, so I've just been working on more Mongo, actually. Django with Mongo. I got this third endpoint set up, so I tried some filtering and stuff. I was hoping to do some more Mongo specific code, but actually Django, the MongoDB library, handles everything under the hood, so I'm writing the same Django I always write. The same thing I would write if I was doing this with Postgres, so it's not that super clever or interesting or anything. So yeah, that's the repo again. So if you want, like if you look at the repo, I have two other repos that you can compare it to. So I did it with Postgres here, and then I did a GraphQL Postgres version of the same thing here. So a bunch of different apps, the same app built with different technologies, which I think makes it kind of nice to compare. Yeah, I love Python Django. Django is such a breath of fresh air in web development using Python. 100% Python. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so I pretty much did, that was all that I had a goal of getting done in this stream. There are a few things that I wish were better. So if you look at these objects here, so you know in Django it adds this auto-incrementing ID field for me, and that's what it uses for the primary key. Like if you're using all sorts of things in Django, like the REST framework router, all of that stuff uses the ID field. I guess it uses whatever primary key you set, but the default is this. But then Mongo gives me this underscore ID. So I couldn't find a good way to merge the two, like set Django's as this and then use it for everything, or set Mongo's as this. You know, they didn't want to work together, but if anyone knows how to fix that in the future, I would love to know about it. I'm sure there's a way somehow. Work some stuff out. Like what? You're having Django issues? Okay, so I got filtering done. That was pretty good. Validators. Yeah, I think actually, sorry you didn't get to see the interesting part of the stream, but it'll be live for a while. I think that's all that I wanted to do or get done. Let me go ahead and push my code here. So, get status. And I want to say that I'm coming up with a new idea. So next week I want to do another Python stream. You know, every Sunday night, I think this is a good time for me. But I don't know if it's going to be Django because I've been doing like, I don't know, 10 months of Django streams. So I'm thinking about trying a new framework. So I would like to give you, or I'd like to get your recommendations for a new framework. So if you want to post recommendations for me in my Discord. Oh, what am I doing? I'm so tired. Discord. Flask? Okay. I used to use a lot of Flask. There's like the responder framework, which I tried. That's super interesting with some async stuff in Python. And of course, there's like big frameworks like Pyramid, Flask, those kind of frameworks. And then there's, what is it, Fast API? I've never actually used that, but people have been recommending it to me. So I might check that one out too. Maybe I'll take a vote on it. Okay, what am I doing now? These are all modified files, all of these. So I'm just going to do AM and then added, let's see, what did I add today? Added card filtering by deck. Also filtering cards. I guess filtering, let me just do filtering, searching, and sorting. That's good. Okay, and that should push. Oh, wait, pull. Oh, because I updated the README. It's a pretty safe pull. Okay, so now I can push. Go bottle. That's interesting. I haven't tried bottle. Oh, there's another small. Oh, cherry pie. I think I tried that a few years ago. That was fun too. Yeah, I haven't used bottle. I would be open to doing that. Static pages would be hyper useful with info from multiple models. I'm not sure what you mean, like an explanation for the API. You mean like API documentation? Maybe I'm not catching what you mean. Okay, so I think that's it for the stream tonight. Sorry you just rated and then I didn't get to do a whole lot, but I think actually tonight I feel like rating someone else. So static pages. Oh, right. Okay, so actually if you want to look, so the repo I was working on tonight, send us down the raid chain. Yeah, the repo I was working on tonight, I do have a front end for it. So I have this Vue.js application. So I haven't worked on it in a few months, but there's a lot of it set up. So it's supposed to interface with the Django REST framework. And yeah, that's the front end for it. So you can check that out if you want to run both and try them out together.